my name is Florence, Armein. Welcome to The Perspective. Prevention of violence against women and children is a lifelong, ongoing discussion and have long become a global issue. Reported cases of violence of women increases from year to year. In 2001, for instance, over 3,000 cases were reported and the number has more than doubled in 2003 alone, and that's in Indonesia. On The Perspective today, we have Soraya Octaviani, Program Officer for Indonesia for Humanity, and Grace Hukom, the head of Wahana Visi Indonesia. Ladies, welcome to The Perspective. Thank you very much for sparing your valuable time, saving lives and futures of Indonesian children out there. So, Grace, if you can give us a maybe a description in a nutshell, what is Wahana Visi Indonesia?
Okay, thank you, Flo. Thank you for the invitation as well. Wahana Visi Indonesia actually is a local non-government organization. It's a humanitarian organization that focuses for children. And in Indonesia, we work partnering with World Vision International in Indonesia.
Okay.
So we serve around 8 provinces from North Sumatra until Papua.
Okay. 8 provinces since you started in 2002, was it?
No, actually Wahana Visi Indonesia started in 1998.
1998?
Yes.
Okay, and now since you work and you service 8 provinces.
That's right.
And why just 8 provinces? Shouldn't it be all the 34 provinces covered?
Yes, actually, but we need to consider our capacity and capabilities as well. And why we choose these 8 provinces, mostly of the provinces is in the eastern part of Indonesia, because that is more I think the poverty is highest there, the issues of the children as well.
Crisis-prone
areas. That's
there.
right.
And what about you, Aya, if I can call you Aya?
Yeah.
Would you like to talk about your organization for a little bit as an introduction?
Firstly, thank you for inviting us.
You're welcome.
Our organization, Indonesian for Humanity, we've been around since 1995. And we work mostly to as a grant organization, like a small grant organization for local NGOs. Usually we give them money to as a startup if they have programs that connected with our vision mission. We have 4 mission that become like a part, like foundation from our organization. We work for women's rights issues, environmental issues. We work for pluralism and tolerance issues, and also we work to provide protection to human rights defender. As an organization, we've been around for a long time, but we kind of because we are merged, we are established when the Suharto's regime. So our work mostly like underground work. We're not trying to like show our organization.
But there was in the 90s.
Yes.
What about now? Are you still doing underground work, or are you pretty much above ground?
Yes, we're in above ground right now. And then now we can openly working with other organizations. That's a good thing.
Now, both organizations have been around since the 90s.
Yes.
If we say, like, I gave you a very small example of the number of reported cases of violence against women. In 2001, more than 3,000. In 2003, it becomes more than 7,000. So, because you've been around, you've been in the heart of it all, violence against children, violation of human rights against children and women. So, how do you think is the fight or the prevention efforts, both from non-government organizations and the private sector, or maybe and the government as well, the fight so far in trying to prevent violence against women and children?
Okay, if I can describe, there is a booming after the 98, yes, like already mentioned by Aya. And even Wahana Visi Indonesia at the time also involved like a movement to gather all the people that have concerns to how to handle these issues, violence against women, and how to because at the time it's not talking about prevention and protection, but how talking about the rehabilitation and such kind of
how to deal,
to
how
deal
they can
and
deal
taking
with them.
to understanding high of victims is already there, and there is no many INGOs, even maybe the government itself coping with this kind of issues. So there is like high of local NGOs that work on that. But then after, like, let's say after 2006, it become not many local NGOs working on that. I don't know if that is focus of the donors themselves, or maybe it's really difficult. But what I've seen, the government itself, it's already taking a responsibility on that. We have seen their efforts to develop the mechanisms at the grassroots level. Yes, and the police department itself, there is a RPK, like the what you call it?
A special unit.
A special unit.
Women and children special unit in there, yes.
To handle the violence concerns. And also there is a lot of awareness have been done into the governments. So then the work of the Minister of Women Empowerment and Child Protection, now they add the Child Protection nomenclature. So it's a lot of things now happen in the grassroots. But the big concern is how the community itself understanding this kind of issues, because after the conflict race, it seems like violence, it becomes normal. It's not something abnormal, you know. So when people, when when a community accepted that is a normal normal situation, so you know, it looks like okay, finance is okay.
It becomes very difficult for you to change things around.
The mindset.
So we'll talk about, that's interesting how we talk about how this is where you come in to educate the community, mainly on how to deal with violence, the effect that it has on women, especially children that's growing out around this violent community. Stay tuned with us right here on The Perspective. We'll be right back.